That was 3 silent burps. Damn, I needed another can. I love this Z-View, man. Best sugar-free soda ever. All right. We got a few things I want to discuss. Hopefully this won't be too long. Shouldn't be more than roughly 45 minutes. Number one, I'm going to do another YouTube hiatus. That's right. I know some of y'all are like, oh, not again, Alan. That's right. Well, the kind of good news is I'm not going to do for the full month. Well, actually, my last month was supposed to be a full month. But if you remember, I broke my hiatus almost like breaking a fast. I don't know if any of you ever fast and you break a fast before it's supposed to be over. But yeah, the month of May, that was the first time since I started doing videos in April of last year where I didn't do any free videos almost for the entire month. It wasn't quite the entire month because I broke my hiatus on May 29th, the day after Memorial Day, that Tuesday. I broke my hiatus that Tuesday. And then I did another free YouTube video that following day, May 30th. So I did one May 29th and May 30th. But between May 1st and May 28th, basically 4 straight weeks, I didn't do any free videos. All I did was Patreon exclusive videos and live streams, Patreon exclusive live streams. But yeah, for the month of July, starting with no later than July 10th, Tuesday, July 10th through Tuesday, July 31st, which would cover a span of 3 weeks, I'm not doing any free videos. No free videos. So between July 10th and July 31st, the only place you're going to be able to find me is either on my Patreon page, or if I decide to do some exclusive interviews with like people like O'Shea Duke Jackson or 1 or 2 other YouTube personalities, I might do that. But as far as here on my channel, yeah, don't expect any free videos from me between July 10th and July 31st. July 10th and July 31st. Got good news. Even though the month is not over yet, we still, including today, got 3 more days, July 28th, 29th, 30th. Now, you know, anytime I have what I consider an exceptionally good month for my audiobook sales, and I always highlight just my audiobook sales because my ebook sales and paperback sales, they tend to be on a more delayed basis. Whereas my audiobook sales, I pretty much know the number of audiobooks I sell within like a 24 to 48 hour period. So today is what, Thursday? So I already know all of the audiobooks I sold between June 1st and Tuesday, which was June 26th. Yeah, I know all the audiobooks I've sold between June 1st and Tuesday, June 26th. And I'm happy to report, I always like to give thanks because I know a large percentage of people buy my audiobooks are people who watch me on YouTube. This is going to be my second best month ever. Insert applause here. Yeah, man. This will be my second best month ever for audiobook sales. Yeah. I came out with my first audiobook in August of 2014. That was Mode 1. My second audiobook came out in November of 2014. That was The Possibility of Sex. My third audiobook came out in March of 2015. That was Ooh Say It Again. And my fourth and final audiobook came out in June of 2016. That was the Beta Male Revolution. And yeah, the best month of audiobook sales I've ever had, and I don't know if I'll top this anytime soon, was January of 2016. January of 2016, yeah, I had a huge. Well, I think I mentioned this once before. The reason why I sold so many books that particular month was because Audible.com, which is the audiobook division of Amazon, they have these specials 2 to 3 times a year. And they had this like Happy New Year special, and they selected 100 audiobooks that they marked at anywhere from a 25 to 50% discount. And they selected 100 audiobooks, and my book, my Mode 1 audiobook, was one of their selections. And man, now at first I was mad when they told me they were going to select me, because I didn't want my audiobook to be sold at a discount, because I think it was sold at like a 50% discount. So I was like, man, I don't want my audiobook being sold at a 50% discount. But when I saw the numbers I was getting, I was like, oh, y'all can sell it at a 50% discount. Man, I mean, I don't like to highlight specific numbers. I like to keep that to myself. But let's just say during the month of January 2016, I was probably selling like 50 to 100 audiobooks a day. And for me, that's like way more than I normally sell per day. I was selling like 50 to 100 copies of my audiobooks, in particular Mode 1, a day, per day. So shit, I was like, hell yeah, go ahead and sell that mug for half off. I don't care. So that's probably going to be my number one month for a long time to come, unless they have another sale where they include one of my 4 audiobooks. But if you remember, just early this year, since I've been on YouTube, I've had 3 months that I had exceptionally good audiobook sales. The first was May of last year. May of 2017 at the time was my second best month for audiobook sales ever. May of 2017. Then the next month that came along that was exceptional was February of this year. February of this year was my third best month for audiobook sales ever. But then I topped that 2 months later, April of this year, April of 2018, 2 months ago, ended up topping February as my third best month ever. And this month of June, is going to top last May. Because again, last May at the time was my second best month for audiobook sales ever. Now it's going to be June of 2018. It's going to be my second best month for audiobook sales ever. In case y'all didn't know, that's where I make my largest percentage of income. I mean, I got different streams of income, but percentage-wise, my largest, I would say what? Yeah, I would estimate that probably like 50% of my overall income, no less than 40. Yeah, I'd say somewhere between 40 to 50% of my overall income comes from my audiobook sales. Yeah, that's my largest single revenue stream is my audiobook sales. Second would be the combination of ebook and paperback sales. Third would be my one-on-one face-to-face coaching sessions. Yeah, that would be third. My third largest would be one-on-one face-to-face coaching sessions. Fourth would be combination of email consultations and Skype and telephone consultations. And fifth, no, let me take that back. Now, fourth would be Patreon. Yeah, my Patreon The money I earn from Patreon would be my fourth most significant revenue stream, and fifth would be my the combination of email consultations and Skype and telephone consultations. And then if I add on one more, would be whatever speaking engagements. I haven't had a paid speaking engagement in a while, although I'm got the 21 convention coming up. But that's something that's very sporadic. That's not like a regular thing. But yeah, when I do speaking engagements, I get usually paid pretty well for speaking engagements. But yeah, my largest single revenue stream is my audiobook sales. And yeah, this was my second best month. The one audiobook in particular that sold exceptionally well was The Possibility of Sex. Because honestly, on a month-to-month basis, that's my least selling audiobook is the Possibility of Sex. Yeah, that's my least. It's interesting, and I've mentioned this probably once or twice before in my YouTube videos. It's almost like if I had to compare it to movies, you know how there's some movies that the critics will give a thumbs down rating to, but those movies will make a lot of money at the box office. And then there's other movies that will be considered critically acclaimed movies. They'll get a bunch of thumbs up from movie critics, but they won't make hardly any money at the box office. Well, I would compare that to my audiobooks. Like, you know, for both my ebooks, paperbacks, and audiobooks on Amazon and audible.com, you can give books anywhere from a 1-star rating to a 5-star rating. And my highest rated audiobook is The Possibility of Sex. That's my highest rated. It has a collective rating of 4.8 out of 5 stars. 4.8 out of 5 stars. That's my highest rated audiobook. So that's the good news. But on the downside, it's my least selling audiobook. I would say on average, I only sell about probably 75 to 100 copies of The Possibility of Sex per month. But this was my best month. June 2018, this was my best month of sales for The Possibility of Sex. I don't know if that's due to me talking about it on my YouTube videos or, I don't know, something else I might have wrote. But yeah, this was my best since that audiobook came out in November 2014. So starting with November 2014 to now, June of this year was my single best month of audiobook sales for The Possibility of Sex. But yeah, that's my highest rated. My next, in terms of ratings, my books are Possibility of Sex #1 is 4.8 out of 5.0. Mo 1 has a rating of 4.6 out of 5 stars. And my other two audiobooks are tied for #3. Ooh Say It Again and The Beta Male Revolution have a rating of 4.2 out of 5 stars, which is still good. Anything over 3.5 stars is considered good. So, yeah, generally speaking, any book that has a rating of 3.5 stars or above is considered generally a good book worth reading. So all of my audiobooks have over a 4-star rating. But yeah, Ooh Say It Again. Now, in terms of sales, on average, my best-selling audiobook almost every month is Ooh Say It Again, with the exception of 2 months. There's only been 2 months since Ooh Say It Again came out where it wasn't my best-selling audiobook. That was January of 2016, which again was my best month ever for audiobook sales, and May of last year. Mo 1, no, not May, February of this year. I'm sorry, not May of last year. February of this year, Mo 1 actually beat Ooh Say It Again out. Or if it didn't beat it out, it was a real close second. I can't remember now. It either beat it out or it was a real close second. But yeah, just about every month since Ooh Say It Again has come out, that's been my best-selling audiobook. Second would be Mo 1. Third would be The Beta Male Revolution. And fourth would be The Possibility of Sex. So I'm happy about that. What else? Had a great interview yesterday with my fraternity brother and fellow YouTube personality, Kevin Samuels. I'll put the link in the comment section below. And I also had a good interview with this self-proclaimed black incel on O'Shea Duke Jackson's channel. I'll put the link to that. I got a lot of props, man. Even a couple of my haters and critics was giving me props, man. That was surprising. There was brothers in the chat room like, man, I really didn't like Alan Roger Currie, but I actually like him now, man. I like the way he's handling this incel. Because it was funny, man. A lot of people thought I was going to have like this really combative or insulting or contentious conversation with this black incel, but that's not how I roll as a dating coach. And so I think I showed some people a lighter side of me. Yeah, because it was funny before I got on because first O'Shea was talking to the incel in the one-on-one, and I was in the chat room, and then O'Shea invited me to participate in the conversation. I saw people in the chat room, oh man, this conversation about to go left right now, man. Once ARC get on the mic, man, all hell's gonna break loose. He gonna go in on that brother, man. He gonna go in on that poor brother. Y'all must not realize how I work with my clients. My Skype consultation clients, my email consultation clients, my one-on-one face-to-face coaching clients. Now, there are some clients that I do give what I call tough love to. So I won't deny that. I do have some clients that I do give tough love to. If I feel like they're making the same mistakes over and over and over again, and I feel like they're not really applying the advice that I gave them, I will go. So yeah, in that regard, I will go in on some of my clients. But I'm generally an empathetic dude with my clients, man. I mentioned that in a recent video before. Now, speaking of black incels, you don't hear about black incels nearly as much as you hear about Caucasian incels and other non-black incels. I think percentage-wise, we might have the lowest percentage of incels. I don't know that for a fact. I'm just estimating. I don't. You just don't hear about that many black incels. But now I already told you guys 90% of the reason why I do my free YouTube videos is usually to address what I refer to as my haters and critics. My haters and critics. Because I get a lot of haterade, man. I get a lot of haterade on YouTube. But interesting enough, now, as you guys know, I write for the Negro Manosphere, O'Shea Duke Jackson's website. Now, on just about all of my articles, I either usually receive nothing but positive feedback, or on many articles, I don't receive any feedback at all. So if I get feedback, I either get predominantly positive feedback, or on a good number of my articles, I didn't really get any feedback at all, other than maybe one or two comments. But my most recent article, and I'll put it in the comment section below, this was only the second article. I've written 66 articles for the NegroManosphere.com. 66 articles. Out of the 66 articles I've written, there's only been 2 articles that I wrote where I would say I received more negative feedback than positive. More negative feedback than positive. The first article in that category would be, I wrote an article basically defending women's right to be promiscuous. Yeah, I wrote an article where I basically defended, because I've always said, and most guys should know this about me, I don't like judgmental men. I don't like men who are real quick to condemn women for being promiscuous and or polyamorous, and are quick to call women sluts and hoes. The only time I really tend to categorize a woman as a slut, and I've talked about this before, it's only 2 times I really myself tend to categorize a woman as a slut, is if she's married, engaged to be married, or she has a long-term boyfriend, but she's regularly cheating on her husband, her fiance, or boyfriend behind their back. In that situation, yes, even Alan Roger Currie will refer to a woman as a slut. That's when I will call a woman a slut. If she's just blatantly and regularly cheating on her husband, cheating on her fiance, or cheating on her boyfriend, I will call women sluts. Like, for example, there's been women who I've had sex with that were married, as you all know, were married, engaged to be married, or had a boyfriend, and I would tell them to their face that I thought they were sluts. Yeah, I would. I would tell them to their face that I thought they were sluts. Matter of fact, most of the time when I would fuck them, I would refer to them as a slut. I would say, come over here, slut, and suck my dick. So that's the one time I have no hesitation to call a woman a slut. Is if a woman is married, engaged to be married, or in a long-term relationship, and she's blatantly and regularly cheating on her partner behind his back without his knowledge. The second most time I will myself call women sluts is if a woman is single, but she always targets married men, men who are engaged to be married, or men that she knows has a long-term girlfriend in order to have sex with. I tend to many times refer to those women as sluts. If you're a woman who's single and you regularly, specifically target men who have a wife, a fiance, or girlfriend to have sex with. Here's the one woman I don't generally refer to as a slut, though. If a woman is single and she's having casual sex with other single men, I don't consider that a slut. I know a lot of you guys do, but I don't. I really don't. I don't call that a slut. 99% of the time, I never refer to those women as sluts. I never refer to a woman who's single, who's having casual sex with a number of single men as a slut. I consider that just a sexual human being. We're all sexual human beings, man. All men are sexual. All women are sexual to one degree or another. We're all sexual human beings. I don't pass judgment on single people having sex with other single people. I do not pass judgment on people in that category. Again, I know that probably 80 to 90% of men in society do, but I don't. Anyway, I kind of went on a segue about that. But that was the first article I wrote on the Negro Manosphere that had more negative feedback than positive feedback. Is I wrote an article called The Double Standard of Promiscuity, where I basically said men are just too judgmental towards women being promiscuous, man. And I've always had beef about that. If you read my book, Who Said Again, or listen to my audiobook version of Who Said Again, I spent almost a whole chapter going in on men who are highly judgmental. I hate men who are judgmental, man. And I'm going to tell you the truth. As a matter of fact, me and Kevin Samuels, there's two people who interviewed me in the last few weeks where I talked about this with them. Most recently, Kevin Samuels. Again, I'll put the interview in the link in my comment section. And then a brother named Glendon Cameron, he has a channel called The Disruptive Male. We talked about it, and the thing we shared is that a lot of you men, you shoot yourself in the foot by doing that. And you don't even consciously realize it. A lot of you men would have more success having casual sex with women if you weren't so goddamn judgmental. I'm telling you, man, ain't nothing turn a woman off that you want to have casual sex with more than if she senses that you're a highly judgmental type motherfucker. Most of the women I know, they've told me that. I've had women tell me that for years, man. Women do not like to engage in casual sex with guys who have these two characteristics. Guys who are judgmental, guys who are indiscreet, and if I had one more, guys who just are weak, sensitive, and no backbone types. Basically, beta male types. Over 3 types of guys that women, generally speaking, do not like to engage in casual sex with. Is guys who are judgmental, guys who are indiscreet, in other words, you got a big ass mouth, and guys who are just weak, no backbone, thin skin type motherfuckers. If you're in any one of those 3 categories, that's when you're going to have a hard time scoring casual sex with women. You're going to have a hard time unless you're paying money for it. Speaking of discreet, my boy Big Mike from Mac City Limits, he he issued a lighthearted challenge to me. Because, you know, his main comrade, compatriot, Tony Maceo, always refers to me as, he says, I'm a balls rubbing nigga. I like to rub my balls in men's faces. That's basically his terminology for saying I like to toot my own horn quite a bit. I say a lot of things that might be considered egotistical and or narcissistic. I boast on some of my accomplishments and achievements and sexual conquest a lot. He refers all of that as me rubbing my balls in men's faces. Now, Big Mike from Mac City Limits did a video where he said, I'm challenging Alan Roger Currie because I think I'm the biggest ball rubber on YouTube. And he showed what's known as visual receipts. Visual receipts. Now, for my non-black listeners, I know y'all don't keep up with all the urban slang. Y'all may be like, Alan, you're going to have to explain that to me. I don't understand what you mean by visual receipts. You mean like from Walmart? Like, you know, when you get a receipt when you purchase consumer goods? Is that what you mean? What do you mean visual receipts? Visual receipts, well, number one, just the term receipts, if you're not familiar, most brothers are familiar with this, but for my non-black listeners and viewers, for somebody to show receipts means you're showing evidence that can back up something you boasted about. For example, let's say I was saying, man, I had a threesome with two fine-ass women last night. They was both. One was a 9 and the other one was a 10. Now, you could just take my word on that, but some brothers might be like, well, show me the receipts. Meaning, show me a picture of these two fine women so you can prove that you had a threesome with these, or show me a videotape of you actually having sex with these two fine-ass women so we know you're not just, you know, making this up. So that's what receipts. Now, I'm going to tell you, Big Mike, if part of the criteria for being the chief ball rubber is visual receipts, then I'm going to have to go ahead and give you the title, man, because, wait, my battery's about to die. Oh, shoot. Hold on. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Now, yeah, if the criteria for being a chief ball rubber is to show visual receipts, then yeah, Big Mike, then you won, man. Then you won, man. Because I just talked about being discreet, man. I'm too discreet to show visual receipts of women that I've had casual sex with. I would never, ever do that. Ever. Ever. So if anybody was to expect me to come on YouTube and show photographs and or video clips of women that I've had casual sex with, I would never, ever, like, literally, if somebody paid me 5 figures, I wouldn't do it. And that's the truth. I'm just, that would violate my own code of conduct. Because one of my codes of conduct is I believe in being very discreet with women, man. I don't like to violate a woman's confidence like that. Because you just heard me mention a few minutes ago, man, that's one of the things that kills a man's casual success with casual sex. Is being indiscreet, man. Women don't like men, man, who got a big mouth, man. And women don't like that shit, man. Now, evidently, Big Mike has no problem doing it. So props to him for showing, you know, photographs of women he's had casual sex with, or women who was his whores or fellow porn stars. Well, obviously, if a woman's willing to do a porno movie, she don't give a fuck about having her face out there. If a woman's doing, because I don't know if you guys know, Big Mike, he's done some pimping in his life, and he used to be like a porno director and producer. So he's done porn. That's a whole different animal, man. That's a whole different animal. Even Alan Roger Currie, I've done a lot of shit in my life, but I ain't never been no porn director or porn producer, maybe on a informal level in certain instances, but no, I ain't never been no porn director or porn producer. So anyway, all that to say that no, man, you ain't gonna get no photographic or video receipts from me on women that I fucked. The only time I'm going to show pictures of women I've had sex with is if that woman... What the fuck? I'm looking at a notification saying somebody opened fire at a newspaper. Man, what's the world going to, man? This is crazy. So I keep going on all these segues. I'm losing my train of thought because I keep going and say, oh, I know what I was talking about. I was talking about, man, I got a lot of haterade on my last Negro Manosphere article, man. Yeah, man, I wrote an article about black incels and black men who are angry, bitter misogynists. Now, there's a phrase that most of you all should be familiar with. Most of you all, even my non-black people, listeners and viewers, should be familiar with this. Yeah, this ain't even black slang. I was just talking about black slang. This is not black slang. This is a universal adage, which is a hit dog always hollers. A hit dog always hollers. What does that mean? That means if I was to do a video podcast about women who have an aversion to being submissive with men, and some woman comes in my comment section and says, well, that's not all women. Some of us women, we know how to be submissive when we want to be. That's not all women. What does that mean? What does that mean if that woman comes in my comment section and says that? That means she's a hit dog. That means she's a hit dog. Hit dogs always holler, man. Always remember that. When it comes to people responding to newspaper articles, magazine articles, audio podcasts, video podcasts, speaking presentations, whatever, anytime somebody's expressing commentary, opinionated commentary about a specific type of person, and you come in with a vociferous response to that person's commentary, that means you're a hit dog. That means you're a hit dog. Plain and simple. You can try to deny it all you want to, but you're a hit dog. I'll give you a perfect example. I see a lot of black men on YouTube and social media in general. If anybody comes out with a magazine article where they say black men have this characteristic or black men have that characteristic, a lot of black men get bent out of shape. Guess who doesn't get bent out of shape? Alan Roger Currie. Why don't I get bent out of shape? Because I know they ain't talking about me. I know they ain't talking about me. I don't give a fuck what black women say about black men. Black women can say a good percentage of black men are lazy. You think I'm going to have an angry response to that? I know I'm not lazy. I don't give a fuck what that black woman says. I could give two flying fucks. I'm not a hit dog. If a black woman writes an article saying, you know, a good percentage of black men are sexually reckless and full of STDs, do you think I'm going to have an angry response to that? No. Why? Because that don't apply to me. She ain't talking about me. I ain't never had an STD in my life. Ever. Knock on wood. Because I've had some raw dog sex. And my brother used to criticize me for taking risks with raw dog sex. So I always knock on wood when I say I've never. But that's the truth. I've never had. I've never, ever. I'm 55 years old. And I've had casual sex with a lot of women. And a percentage of that casual sex was raw dog sex. But yet, I've never in my life contracted an STD. Not one time. Not one time. Not one time. Never contracted STD. Yeah, I get tested an average of twice a year. I test myself for I have my doctor do a blood test for STD. I've never come up positive for anything. But anyway, yeah, man, that's why, man, like, I've had people criticize me about that, particularly even here on YouTube. Some guy said, yeah, so-so, this woman wrote this article in Essence Magazine, And all of us are up in arms, but Alan Roger Currie, he seems like he doesn't even care about what this woman wrote. I don't. I don't. Hey, man, if somebody ain't talking about me specifically, where they mentioning my name, or they indirectly mentioning me, and when I say indirect, like somebody saying, hey, there's this African-American author who's also a dating coach who wrote this book about straightforward communication. See, that would be an example. You indirectly referring to me. You're not mentioning me by Alan Roger Currie, but you're indirectly. That's the only time I'm going to be likely to respond to something, is when somebody criticizes me by name or they criticize me indirectly. But other than those two, if women are just like criticizing black men in general, I don't give a fuck. I don't. Y'all can hate me for that. Y'all can criticize me for that. I don't give a fuck. My attitude is, the way I look at it is, that's just a black woman trying to sell an article so she can make money. That's one thing you got to remember, man, when it comes to people talking shit about the opposite gender, the opposite race. Anytime money is involved, you got to question it. If somebody says something for free, to me, it tends to have more credibility. But if there's a money motive there, that's why, man, like, I had this other podcast, y'all know who I'm talking about, the Grim Reaper. He criticized me one time for not being upset over things that different black female YouTubers say about black men. Man, them women trying to make money, man. Just like a lot of black male YouTubers are trying to make money. Speaking of the Negro Ministry, I wrote an article about that. I think I might put that in the comment section. I wrote an article about that. About how you can't take black men bashing black women seriously, at least half the time. At least half the time you can't take black women bashing black men seriously. Because that's all about this, man. That's all about this, man. That's all that's about, man. That's all about trying to track views so you can make money. I had a female, I'm not going to say her name, but she's pretty popular here on YouTube. She used to be on Blog Talk Radio. She admitted to me, man, that at least half her motivation for going in on black men is because she makes money off that shit, man. She makes money off that shit. It's business for her. It ain't personal. That's business. See, that's why I don't pay attention to that shit, man. I don't pay attention to all that back and forth beef shit and that whole gender war bullshit. That's about this, man. That's about that money. All people want to keep this gender war going is so they can have content for their articles and for their podcasts. That's what it's all about. I don't need to bash black women to have content for my video podcast. I don't need to. I got 4 audiobooks worth of content that I can talk about for the next 10 years. I don't have to bash nobody in order for me to have content. But there's a lot of black people on YouTube, both male and female, that if you were to prohibit them from insulting someone, either specifically or insulting an entire gender, they wouldn't have any content. They wouldn't. And that's what most of y'all don't realize. They wouldn't have any content. They wouldn't have shit to talk about. Matter of fact, since I mentioned his name already, I'm going to go ahead and put it out there, Grim Reaper. If you took away his ability to insult people and insult black women, that motherfucker, you would eliminate like 80 to 90% of his content. He wouldn't have no content anymore. That motherfucker wouldn't have shit to talk about. He wouldn't have jack shit to talk about. That's why you got to keep insulting people and taking jabs at people, whether it be individual people or an entire gender of women, is that's what keeps him having something to talk about. Again, I don't need to insult people or go after people to have shit to talk about. My main thing I like to talk about is stuff to do with interpersonal communication skills, interpersonal relations, verbal communication skills, and just interpersonal relations in general. That's my main thing. That's my main thing. I could talk about that for the next 10 years without ever having to resort to insulting someone or bashing women, and more specifically bashing black women. I don't need to do that to make this. I just told you I had my best month, my second best month of audiobook sales ever. And none of my audiobook sales deal with bashing black women and taking personal jabs at individual people. Alan Roger Currie knows how to make money without doing that stupid shit, that petty bullshit. That's right. Businessman right here. Businessman right here. I make money helping guys get some pussy. Y'all can call that superficial. Y'all can call that shallow. I don't give a fuck. I make most of my money helping motherfuckers do two things. Get some pussy and prevent themselves from wasting time and money with the women who not gonna give them some pussy. That's the two main things I do in a nutshell. In a nutshell. Now, I can be more elaborate, but for the sake of time, that's the two main things I do. I make money off of helping men get laid, and secondly, off of helping men prevent themselves from wasting time and money with the women who are not going to get them any pussy. Matter of fact, I had a guy write me today, one of my Patreon subscribers. He said, Alan Roger Currie, you're a genius. I love hearing that shit. He said, Alan Roger Currie, you're a genius. He had a same-day seduction that he was really excited about. And Mo One helped him accomplish that same-day seduction. He said, Alan Roger Currie, you're a genius. Yeah, man, but I got a lot of haterade, man, on that incel article, man. I would say probably at least 2/3 of my feedback was negative feedback. But it goes back to, again, the adage, man. You a hit dog. Now, because my article didn't say all black men are incels. If it did, I could see people having a negative reaction to it. My article didn't say all black men are angry, bitter misogynists. If it did, I could see people having a negative reaction to it. I talked about black men who are incels and black men who are angry, bitter misogynists. Here's the deal. If you don't fall under one of those two categories, why in the fuck would you get bent out of shape over that article? Why? Seriously, real talk. If you in your own mind don't feel like you're legitimately an incel and you don't feel like you're legitimately an angry, bitter misogynist, why in the fuck would you get bent out of shape over that article? The only guys who are going to get bent out of shape over that article are the hit dogs out there. There's a lot of hit dogs out there, man. That article showed me that there's a lot of hit dogs. In other words, there's a lot of motherfuckers who deep down, they know they are incels. Deep down, they know they are incels. But they don't want anybody telling them that. And similarly, there's a lot of black men who deep down know that they are angry, bitter misogynists. Matter of fact, some of the guys by their own comments, when they gave me feedback, I could tell that they're bitter misogynists. Anytime you make comments like all black women ain't shit, you're a misogynist. Period. Period. There ain't no discussion, there ain't no debate. Anytime you make a blanket statement like that all black women ain't shit, you're a fucking bitter misogynist. Accept that fact. You hit dog? I love to hit you dogs. I love to hit you. I take pleasure out of that shit. Believe that shit. I take pleasure out of hitting you dogs out there. If you a hit dog, I love that shit. Brings a smile to my face. Makes me smirk to myself just walking around my place. That's what it does. You fucking sensitive motherfuckers. I don't have no empathy for misogynists. I hate misogynists. Hate them. You know what a lot of you black men are too? That you don't consciously realize? Some of you black men, not too many, but there's at least a percentage of you, you are a misandrist. Yeah, you are a misandrist. See, I wrote an article about that one time. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking that only a man can be a misogynist and only a woman can be a misandrist. That is not true. That's actually not true. You can have hatred for your own gender. Like if you're a man who has hatred towards a high percentage of other men, that would mean you're a misandrist, even though you're a man yourself. You're a misandrist. Same with a woman. If you're a woman and you have a lot of hatred for a high percentage of women, of members of your own gender, that means you're a misogynist. So, yeah, a woman can be guilty of misogyny and a man can be guilty of misandry. And I've ran across a few comments, again, not too many, but a few comments here and there that lets me know that some of you men out there, and I would say, no, I ain't going to limit it to black men. I would say just some of you men, period. Y'all not only, like, I give you a perfect example. Elliot Rodger, you know I love to bring up his name. Elliot Rodger. If you read his manifesto, Elliot Rodger is a classic example of a guy in that category. He had not only a lot of hatred for women, but he had a lot of passion and hatred for other men. Matter of fact, when he went on his mass murdering spree, he didn't just kill women, he killed some other men. Yeah, he has hatred towards other men. I want to say it started with, if I'm not mistaken, it started with, he said when he was young, I think when he was around 11 or 12 or somewhere in that area, one of his father's friends' sons stayed for the weekend at their place, and his father's friend's son fucked his girlfriend right in front of Elliot Rodger. And Elliot Rodger said that pissed him the fuck off. He said he was pissed that his father's friend's son fucked his girlfriend right in the bedroom in front of him. He literally said he wanted to go grab a knife from the kitchen and stab this motherfucker. That's how crazy that motherfucker was. He said he wanted to go grab a knife and stab that motherfucker. You remember that episode I did earlier this year about men who are player haters? That's basically what a player hater is. There's a lot of men out here in society who are player haters. A player hater is a man who is very jealous, envious, and hateful towards other men who have a higher degree of popularity with women than themselves. Basically, ladies' men, womanizer types. There's a lot of men, man. That's been going on for years. I told y'all stories about as far back as when I was a senior in high school. I remember when I was a senior in high school, man. I can name at least 4 or 5 guys, man, that tried to start a fight with me for no other reason than the fact that I got way more attention from girls than they did. I didn't even know these motherfuckers, man. That like blew my mind at the time. I was like, why is a guy that I've never had a conversation with trying to start a fight with me? Yeah, I had guys trying to start fights with me simply because they saw how girls reacted to me. Because, man, I used to have girls go crazy over me when I was a senior in high school. And a lot of guys, they didn't like that shit, man. That was when I first realized the concept of player hating. They didn't use that term back in the early 80s, but essentially that's what they were doing. They were player hating, man. There's a lot of, in college, I experienced that. A lot of members of my fraternity experienced that, player hating. Yeah, man. There would be guys that would try to start fights with a number of my fraternity brothers, myself included, simply because we had a lot of popularity with women on the campus of Indiana University in Bloomington, Indiana. Yeah, man, it's like Elliot Rodger, man. He was a player headed to the point where he wanted to kill dudes, man. He wanted to kill dudes who were more popular with women than him, who he felt were getting pussy quicker than him and easier than him. He hated that shit. He didn't just dislike it. He hated that shit. But yeah, man. So that tripped me out. All these hit dogs hollering, man. Again, if you had a negative response to my most recent article, even though I didn't say that all black men were incels or all black men were bitter misogynists, but you chose to write some negative comment, you're a hit dog. That's what you are. You're a hater and you're a hit dog. You're a hit dog. Deep down, you know one of those 2 categories applies to you. Either deep down, you know that you're an incel, that you've gone the last few years without some pussy and it's frustrating for you, or you have a lot of hatred towards women in general, and I would say more specifically black women. You have hatred towards them, man. Final thing I'm gonna use the last few minutes to talk about. This happened, I think, like as many as 3 times this week. You know what's amusing to me? Is when people criticize me for shit that I've criticized myself on, or that I've acknowledged is a characteristic of mine myself. I always find that both interesting and amusing. I'll give you an example. I remember when I first got on YouTube, I lightheartedly mentioned the fact that there are times when I can be very egotistical, very narcissistic, and very boastful, which again is why brother Tony Maceo and Big Mike at Mike City Limits tend to always refer to me as that ball-rubbing nigga. They always say I rub my balls in guys' face, because that comes from the fact that I can be egotistical at times, I can be boastful at times, and I can be somewhat narcissistic at times. I said that about myself in probably one of my first 10 videos after I first got on YouTube last April. Somebody this week had the nerve to say that. They said, you know what I don't like about Alan Currie, man? Is a lot of times, man, he comes across as very arrogant, egotistical, and narcissistic. Bless that brother's heart. Insert dog face here. That wasn't really a criticism or insult for my ears. Why? Or for, I should say, for my eyes, since I read it instead of listened to it. No, I mean, it might have been on audio. But anyway, that's not really a criticism, because again, I said that about myself when I first got on YouTube. Because I think it was like my 4th, 5th, or 6th video. I remember specifically, it was either in April of last year or no later than May of last year. I was doing one video, and I was lightheartedly categorizing some of my strengths as a book author and dating coach, and at least a couple of my weaknesses. And one of my weaknesses, I said I sometimes have problems with being modest. I didn't even try to deny that shit. I said I have a problem a lot of times with modesty. So I basically said, yeah, I do tend to come across sometimes as egotistical / boastful / narcissistic. Here's something I do that some people would consider egotistical, is asking my electronic assistant who I am. Alexa, who is Alan Roger Currie?
Alan Roger Currie is an award-winning American dating coach, self-help author, motivational speaker, and YouTube personality.
I'm on Wikipedia, bitch. That's one of my number things I like to tell people. If they try to talk shit to me, I'm like, I'm on Wikipedia, bitch. That's right. Siri knows who I am. Alexa knows who I am. Motherfucking Hollywood celebrities know who Alan Roger Currie is. I used to roll with celebrities when I lived in Los Angeles, man. Motherfuckers know who I am. It's celebrities who own my books, man. I don't fuck female celebrities. I've had phone sex with female celebrities. I'm known internationally. When I was in Berlin, Germany, I had a motherfucker, just a random dude on the street recognize me in Berlin, Germany. He was like, you're Alan Roger Currie. I was like, yeah. He's like, man, I just bought your book 6 weeks ago. Love it. So, yeah, I got a bit of an ego, to say it mildly. Oh, yeah, I got a bit of an ego. I'm on Wikipedia, bitch. Shit, I've been on national TV. I've been interviewed on national radio. My name's been in national magazines, national newspapers. You think I'm going to be an ultra modest motherfucker? Now, I will say this. When people give me my respect, like my Patreon subscribers, and my Patreon subscribers will back me up on this, I am generally modest. If you're a Patreon subscriber to me, am I lying? 99% of the time, I'm very even keel and modest with my Patreons when I do my Patreon exclusive videos, because I know I have their full respect. The only time my ego really comes out is when people try to challenge me, talk shit about me. Basically, they're hating on me. They underestimate my skills, my talents, underestimate my knowledge, my wisdom. Oh, my ego's going to come out full force. My ego's going to come out full force. When you ain't giving me my full props and my full respect, that's when my ego's going to come out. You best believe that shit. I always tell motherfuckers, you don't want to get into an egotistical trash talking session with Alan Roger Currie, because I'm going to hurt your feelings. There's a 99.9% chance I'm going to hurt your feelings. So that was one criticism that somebody said about me that, again, I had already acknowledged myself, was the ego narcissistic, boastful deal. Grim Reaper. I got to highlight his name again. Grim Reaper. I heard him on one of his podcasts. He says, Alan Roger Currie, one of the problems I have with Alan Roger Currie is he does not care about scientific evidence, research data, statistical surveys. He doesn't care. All he cares about stuff that he experienced himself or observed himself. That's all he cares about. Insert dog face here. If I find the video from last year, I'll put it in the comment section. I did a whole video about that where I basically said that myself. I said what the Grim Reaper said about me. I said that about myself. I don't. Hey man, the only time I care about research data and scientific research and statistics and surveys and all that kind of bullshit is if it confirms or validates shit that I've experienced or observed. Shit that I've experienced or observed. Shit that I've experienced or observed. Other than that, I'm going to tell you straight up. You don't see no citations in my books of research data. You don't see no references in my books of research data. Like, when you do a term paper, you got to have citations and references. You'll see the little number next to a sentence, like having a little number 1, little number 2, 13, 14. Yeah, like when you did a high school term paper, you usually had to cite where you got your research data from, statistical data, that type of stuff. I don't give a fuck about that shit. I'll give you an example. Let's say somebody presented me with some research data that said 90% of women in society don't like to suck dick. But I know in my lifetime that 90% of the women I've had sex with did suck my dick. You think I'm going to give that research data any credibility? Fuck no. I don't give a fuck about no research. If it ain't in line with what I've experienced myself, that's all I care about, man. All of my advice that I give to my clients is based on shit that I've either experienced or to a far lesser extent, if I didn't experience something that I've observed someone else experience. That's the only two things. Just about all of my advice I give to my clients is based on those two things. Either stuff I've experienced myself with women, or at bare minimum, something I've experienced someone else experiencing with women. If it don't fall into one of them two categories, it don't mean shit to me. I don't give a fuck if somebody got a PhD behind their name and they done did all the so-called research and surveys and all that bull. I don't give a fuck about that shit, man. I don't give a fuck about that shit. So Grim Reaper, that's your shit, man. I don't give a fuck about that shit. But again, the funny thing was, when he said that, he acted like he was criticizing me. I said that about myself in an entire video last year. And then the final thing somebody said about me that I had already said about myself, somebody said, yeah, man, the impression I get about Alan Roger Currie is that before he became a dating coach and he saw he could make money by being empathetic, I don't really think he was an empathetic brother, man, towards guys who struggled with success with women. Bless your hearts, man. Bless your hearts. Insert dog face here. Again, this is another one of those criticisms that falls in the category. That's something I said about myself when I first got on YouTube. If y'all, I know some of y'all are new listeners and viewers of mine, but for y'all long-time listeners, people who've been listening to me and watching my videos all the way since April, my first month when I first started doing videos on YouTube was April of last year, April of 2017. And I remember specifically, I don't know the exact number, it was either my like 4th, 5th, 6th, maybe my 7th video I did after I got on YouTube. I said that. I basically openly acknowledged that. I said, when I was in my 20s and even my early to mid 30s, I said, I didn't give a fuck about no romantically and sexually frustrated beta males. I didn't give a fuck about them, man. I didn't give a fuck about them. And I was real about that. I said when I was between, I would say starting with the age of like 17 all the way up into the age of maybe like 33, 34. I didn't give a fuck about the struggles that men were having. Who's calling me? Yeah, I didn't give a fuck about no struggles, man. I didn't. I didn't really start. I'm gonna tell you, when I first started, I would say being generally empathetic towards guys who were having severe struggles with women was probably around the age of like 35, 36, which would have been around, I'd say somewhere around 1997, 1998. Yeah, around 1997, 1999. Actually, 1997, I was still 34. So I'll say about 34. Yeah, about the age of 34. That's when I really start slowly but surely becoming more empathetic towards guys who were having a lot of struggles with women. I tell you, the first type of guy who I began to be empathetic towards was guys who were very naive about marriage and relationships. Because I knew I was fucking so many women who were married or engaged to be married or who had boyfriends. I can honestly say I reached a point roughly around my mid-30s where I was like, damn. A lot of these guys, they have no clue that their wife is fucking a motherfucker like me. Or their fiance is fucking a motherfucker like me. Or their long-term girlfriend is fucking a motherfucker like me on the side. They have no clue. And that's when I first started saying that I think I'm going to have to clue these guys in. And it didn't come till later. Actually, I didn't talk about that in Mode 1. I didn't really talk about that in one of my books until I came out with Possibility of Sex. That was the first book where I talked about how I had fucked. In chapter 9 of The Possibility of Sex, I talked about how I had fucked a lot of married women, women who were engaged to be married, and women who had boyfriends. And I actually stopped doing that around the age of 38, I want to say. That's when I kind of, mainly, not just because of me, but because of my brother. My brother was like, dude, you're going to attract bad karma. He's really into karma. He's like, you're going to attract a lot of bad karma in your life if you keep fucking other dudes' women, man. So yeah, I stopped. But yeah, it wasn't until I got to my mid-30s, man, when I started. But before that, man, because before that, man, I didn't hang around guys like that. I really didn't. I've mentioned that before on videos, man. Most of the guys I hung around with in my real life were guys who either were married, engaged to be married, had a serious girlfriend, or if they were single, they were some type of ladies' man or womanizer. Those were the main, like 90% of my friends fell under one of those four categories. Again, they were either guys that were married, engaged to be married, had a long-term girlfriend, or if they were single, they were like considered a ladies' man type or womanizer type. But as far as guys who had like really like severe struggles with women, I didn't hang around no dudes like that, man. I mean, I might have had occasional interactions with guys like that, but as far as hanging out with them, like say on a regular or semi-regular basis, nobody in my social circle was in that category. So I didn't give a fuck about them. So anyway, for this guy to say that about me as if he was like really critical, like, yeah, man, I think Alan, before he became a dating coach, he really didn't. Yeah, I said that about myself. Again, one of my videos back last April, I said that. I think it was either my 4th, 5th, 6th, or 7th video. I said that openly to my YouTube audience. I said, before my mid-30s, I said I didn't give a fuck about no romantically and sexually frustrated beta males. I could give a fuck. Like when I was fucking dudes' wives, I didn't give a fuck about them. I didn't. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't give a fuck about them. When I was fucking dudes' fiancés, I didn't give a fuck about them. When I was fucking dudes' girlfriends, I didn't give a fuck about them. Definitely in my 20s. In my 20s, hell, dude, I'm telling you, if some of y'all haters of me hate me now, I guarantee you, if we would have crossed paths when I was in my 20s, y'all think y'all hate me now. Y'all multiply that times 5 or 10. Like I saw where somebody's conversation said Alan Roger Currie is an arrogant dick. He comes across as an arrogant, condescending dick. Dude, all I got to say, whoever wrote that comment, if you think that 55-year-old Alan Roger Currie comes across as somewhat arrogant and somewhat of a dick, I guarantee you didn't want to meet the 25-year-old. Man, when I was in my 20s, boy, I'm telling y'all, a lot of you brothers who are haters and critics, man, y'all would have hated me so much, y'all would have wanted to literally try to kill me or something. Dude, dude, I'm telling you, man, my 20s, and even I would say 2 to 3 years into my 30s, oh man, my ego was real. Man, I thought I was literally the shit on earth. I thought I was the shit. You couldn't tell me shit. And if you would have even remotely talked shit to me, I was going to talk trash to you like a motherfucker. I was going to look you dead in your eyes and say, where's your bitch at? So I can fuck her. Where's your bitch? Introduce me to your bitch so I can fuck her. Shit, boy, man. So yeah, man, I consider the 55-year-old Alan Roger Currie to be a mild, tame Alan Roger Currie. But yeah, the 25-year-old Alan Roger Currie, if I can find a picture, I'll show you a picture of when I was I think this picture is when I was 26 to 27. The picture that you should be seeing right now. Oh man, that Alan Roger Currie that you seeing on that picture, shit, man, boy, I was a major shit talking motherfucker. Major shit talking motherfucker. Especially anything to do with getting pussy and pulling women. Psh, man. Anyway, so once again, starting with no later than July 10th, I'm going to have I'm going to go on hiatus for at least 3 weeks. So you're not going to see any free YouTube videos from me starting with no later than July 10th. I might do a few between July 1st and July 9th. July 1st and July 9th. But starting with no later than July 10th, the only videos I'm going to be doing is going to be Patreon exclusive videos. Patreon exclusive videos. That might even extend into the early part of August. I don't know yet. But one of the reasons why is because I got a lot of one-on-one coaching sessions coming up. I got a lot of one-on-one, face-to-face coaching sessions coming up. And I don't have time to deal with the shit I deal with on YouTube. All this bullshit drama from haters and critics. I don't have time to deal with that shit. So anyway, all right. I'll talk to you fellas. Peace.
Yes, sir.
Say it again.
Yes, sir.
Who's the king?
Alan, you're the king.
Say it again.
Alan, you're the king. You're dominating me.
Say it again.
Alan, you're dominating me right now. Mode 1.
Mode 1.
Daddy, can I go, please? You're the king.
Say it again.
Oh, you're the fucking king. Yes. Yes. Yes.
You're the king, Alan.
AKA the king of verbal seduction. You know, it's the tone of your voice, how seductive your intonations are, the vibrations that you could just reach out over the phone lines and stroke a woman's breast just by the sound of your voice, how you could make her pussy so wet just by the sound of your voice. That's actually very hot.
So you said my show was what?
I said your show is powerful.
Oh, say it again.
Your show is powerful.
I bet the king would fuck me really good.
Oh, yeah. Who's the king?
Alan Roger Currie.
Oh, yeah. Who's the king?
Alan Roger Currie. The king.
The king.
The king.